Okay everyone, so now we are learning the destructor. Destructor is used to deallocate the memory. It is exactly opposite of the constructor because constructor allocate the memory. We know that we are having the class and the class is the combination of attributes and behavior. Now, what is the attribute? What are the variables we declare? They are called data members. And data members is also called the attribute. Just like we are declaring A as integer, B as integer. Now these are called the data members. And data members are named as the attribute. We should understand that there are two types of data member. One is the normal type, just like dim A as integer. Now they are called instance, and there are few variable which are of shared type. Whenever we use the shared keyword before that, so that indicate it is the shared variable. So shared variable, now shared B as integer, so these are the shared variable. So these two variables, instance variable or the shared variable, which we declare, now they are called the data members, or the short name is attribute. And second thing, which is the behavior. Whenever we are going to declare any of the function or the procedure, just like we are defining any sub means the void, it is ending with the end sub, and the name of procedure is Ankit here. Now we are defining any procedure or the function. This is called the member function or the behavior. So these are the two things which are the part of class. Class is the combination of data members and the member function, or we can say that it is the combination of attribute or the behavior. Then afterward we are having the constructor. The constructor can also be created inside the class. Constructors are used to allocate the memory. Constructors are of two types. We can see that there are two types of variable. One is the normal variable which are declared, just like A, dim A as integer. This is called instance variable. Now a constructor which is used to initialize the instance variable value, that is called the instance constructor. Just like this constructor we are defined here is the instance constructor. Constructor always have the word new. So new bracket, that means it is the constructor. Here we are having the sub, means no return type, ending with the end sub. A is equal to 20. It is initializing the A, and A is what? A is the normal variable. So this is the instance constructor. If we define any other constructor, who is going to define the B? And what is B? B is the shared variable. So shared variable is initialized by some constructor, that is called the shared constructor. So there are two types of constructor. The first constructor who is going to initialize the instance variable called the instance constructor, and second constructor who is going to initialize the shared variable are called the shared constructor. Constructor is going to initialize the variables, and we are learning the destructor here, which is exactly opposite. That means it is going to deallocate the memory. We know that class members cannot be directly accessed. Means if I want to directly access A, B or these member function, I cannot access them. So for that we need the object. So object is created for that, and object is also called the instance. These objects we create takes the memory into the system, because we are getting multiple objects, obj1, obj2, obj3 and so on. So multiple objects take the memory. Now these memory should be freed when the object's not in use. So there we need the destructor. So here destructor is used, and that is going to deallocate the memory. So we can say that destructor is the special method which is used to release the objects from memory. So the objects which are not in use will be deleted by the destructor and memory will be freed. Now we are discussing the types of destructor. There are two types of destructor. The first one is the finalize destructor or the finalize method. Then we are having second type of destructor, that is dispose destructor or dispose method. So now we are learning these two destructors one by one. So first of all, we are learning finalize method. So first of all, we are starting with the finalize destructor or the finalize method. The main thing about the finalize method is that this finalize destructor is called by .NET automatically. So .NET automatically run the finalize destructor. So there we don't need any command to run the finalize destructor. It run automatically. We know that in the .NET there is a major component which is called CLR. So CLR periodically check for the objects. If the object not in use, it automatically call the finalize destructor and garbage collection start. So CLR is having a time span. Means after every specific time, it just comes and check all the objects. If any object it find that not in use, then it call this finalize destructor, and after that garbage collection process start. We know that garbage collection process is the process where unused objects are removed from the memory. Means the memory is deallocated for that. And here the important thing is that this finalize destructor is called by the .NET automatically. This finalizing destructor is automatically called because its code is already available into the .NET environment. So that means its code is already present. But if you want that, you should redesign the code. That is perfectly fine. You can do that. So you can also explicitly write the code for finalize destructor. So finalize method or the destructor can be overridden when we write the code explicitly. The code of finalize destructor is already defined into the .NET. But if you want that your own code should run, means you want to destroy the objects by yourself, or you want to apply some different commands for that, it is perfectly fine. You can simply use this finalize method, and here it will be overridden. Overridden means the code of system will be overridden. Now your code will work, system code will not work. So explicitly we can provide the code for finalize method also, and it is going to override the code which is available into the system. We know that the finalize destructor is called by the .NET automatically. So here is a problem with the finalize destructor. If the user wants that, it should know when the objects are destroyed. It is perfectly impossible. User don't have any knowledge. So we cannot determine its execution. When the unused objects are removed, we don't have any knowledge about that, because finalize destructor is automatically called by the .NET program. So we cannot determine its execution. Now we are taking one example. With the help of that, we can override the finalize destructor. If we want that our own code should work over there, then this example we should use. So this is the code by which we can override the finalize method. Overriding means in the system already finalize method is defined. If we want that our code should work, system code should not work, then this is called overriding. And with the help of this code we can override that. So here we are mentioning the protected. Protected means only the derived class can take this. Override. Override means already the code is defined into the system. We are going to override that. So the code which we are mentioning here will work. Now sub means no return type. Then finalize. So this is the finalize destructor. It is a method available. That's why it is called the finalize method also. And is ending with the end sub. In between we are writing the code which we want that it should run. So this is the first type of destructor which is called finalize destructor. And because we are using the finalize method for that, it is also called finalize method. Now we are discussing the next type of destructor, that is dispose destructor or the dispose method. So now we are learning the dispose destructor or the dispose method. We know that in the finalize destructor, there was a problem that it was non-deterministic in nature. So we can say that problem with finalize destructor is that it is non-deterministic. Non-deterministic means we cannot determine when the finalize method will call. But here the dispose method is the opposite. Just like the finalize method is automatically called by the .NET, dispose is not. So unlike the finalize method, dispose method is not called automatically. So if it is not called automatically, that means we know the exact state when the objects are deallocated. So dispose method is totally opposite of the finalize, because in the finalize it was called by the .NET automatically, so we don't know the state. But here in the dispose method, it is not called automatically, so we know the state. Dispose method are called with the help of the code. So through the code we have to call dispose method explicitly. Dispose method is used to release the resources, just like database connection, file handler, system lock, and many more. Whenever we connect with a database, at that time a database connection is required. Now that database connection remain until we are connecting with the database. But once our project is over, at that time we should remove that because it is consuming some memory. So that resource it can remove. Then afterward we are having the file handler. We know that so many times we use some files inside our project. Now to handle those files, editing the file, making the file, and updating the file, so file handler is required. Once the task is over, those file handlers should be removed from the memory. Then system lock. Whenever we are going to do any transaction, then system applies some locks. Just like whenever we are having the access to some file, at that time system don't allow that somebody else should see that file or work on that file because system is working on that. These are called the locks. So these resources can be easily freed with the help of the dispose method. So here we have learned the destructor. Destructor is exactly opposite of the constructor. Constructor allocate the memory and destructor deallocate the memory. So whatever the objects which are using the memory, that is deallocated. Destructors are of two types. One is the finalize and second one is the dispose. If we talk about the finalize, that is automatically called by the .NET. If it is called automatically, then obviously user is not having any information about the state. But if we talk about the dispose method or the dispose destructor, they are called by the code and user is having the complete information when the objects are deallocated. So that is all about the destructor.